Hello and welcome to the GC vs 21CW After Battle Day podcast. My name is GC Robert Willis and we're here to talk about what happened in today's Battle Day, including probably last week's Battle Day since we didn't have one. With me today is...
I'm Fields of Blue, one of the GCTAs.
McBain, General for 21CW Army.
I guess that moves on to me, Viper, General for GC.
I'm Captain Jägermeister. I'm the vehicle guy for GC.
Hi there, I'm Chillum Berber for Captain of Dragon for 21CW.
Beer Hunter 6, 21CW.
Leo 969, an average grunt for 21CW.
So, let's get on with the scores. Scores, I think, so far from the second Battle Day, at least from what I can tell. It looks like it's 50 to 21CW and 65 for GC if you count down from 70. 21CW, I think it's 2015? 25 the other way around?
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. So, definitely a lot better day. Definitely a more balanced day today compared to last week. Let's start with 21CW. Joe McBain, you did a lot of FC in this round. What do you think went well today?
I was actually surprised we did so well on Zavad. I mean, I thought we would do good, but it's a dark map. We played the night map, so it was dark. But we're just, it's just taking us a little bit more time, I think, than GC to get our shit together to basically start playing as a team. But that's what we're working on. We're, starting to play as a team, so it's definitely showing.
It's not just Graveyard Shift or Sabbath Night map. You also won a map on Road Transmission.
Yeah, that one. That like I said, we everybody was spawning where they should. There was one point where I think we kind of stopped your vehicles, your armor from moving around a little bit. They had a little bit of freedom, and then we kind of stopped that, and that really helped.
Definitely what I've been seeing in Road Transmission during the casting, you guys are definitely we're using a lot more jet drops from both sides. Do you feel that's been improved since last week? Because it just seems at times that there's no sort of back flag action, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, we always try to use jet drops. I think we're just getting better at them. Last week, I know we had a couple of really bad jet drops. They were just dropping either too far from the flag or too close, or maybe they're just squishy when they hit the ground. But we're getting better with the jet drops as far as being more accurate.
Excellent. Well, Viper, of course, the general for the GC Army. What do you think? How do you think today went?
I think it was definitely a big improvement because, like you said, 21CW fought back and really hard. It caught us a bit off guard. So it's definitely nice to see 21CW fighting back and kicking our ass. And I think that pretty much everyone believes that we can definitely have some fun during this campaign thanks to today.
Definitely some issues on Zavod night map. What do you think went wrong? Let's get this out.
I think 21CW just played a lot better. Like, they individually played a lot better, and they managed to hold on the Charlie Delta combo. And if you have Charlie Delta, then that map is pretty much won. So they managed to hold on to that and hold on to the back flags most of the time. So we just got pretty much wiped off the map thanks to that.
Just open question to everybody. Lankang Dam. One thing that we suppose with the cast is that the use of Soflan's javelins were really, really powerful in this one. To everybody, do we think, especially in these big open maps, that the javelins were just wrecking armor?
I'd like to speak up for infantry actually on that point because the armourer quite often says that the javelin, soft flam, PLD combo is overpowered and keeps them back, but that's the whole point of it. I mean, we saw armour guys going 30, 40, 50 to 0. How else are we meant to take them out at long range? We have no long range weapons except maybe a lucky shot with an RPG that a good tanker can see coming a mile off. So the javelin, yes, I agree. When it works and when it's used in coordination and it takes a 3-man team to get it going properly, it really is a very powerful weapon, and I love it as an infantryman because it's all I can do against GC's very good long-range AA guy who was just tearing us up as infantry today. I mean, he wrecked me on certain maps today, Lankandam being one. I just couldn't get near Charlie Flag because he was too good for me as a captain on the ground. But we're getting better, and I think we need things like the javelin and the more long-range weapons as infantrymen, because the now without jets in the battlefield, the armor is king of the field, and we need something to fight him as an infantryman.
Yeah, as I say, definitely saw in the second, especially the second round of Macadam, there's a lot of back and forth action with the infantry. I reckon if you had another round and that came down, you guys would be able to get a draw on that one, get a win?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's one thing that 21CW we're really used to also is playing the map more than once or twice. You know, sometimes you don't really see what you need to do until you until you lose the map once or twice, maybe. Yeah, I think if we would have had a third round, I think we may have been able to take it. We were close on the second round, but there was some miscommunication, and well, I don't want to blame it on that. You guys, GC was doing what they needed to do to prevent us from winning, but there was a certain point where we lost our back flag on Alpha, and then Charlie, and we could have came back, but it was just close. We just didn't have the timing right on the personnel getting to the flags, and by the time we got back to A or Charlie, you guys had already reinforced it, so it pretty much ended the round.
Both communities, GC and G21CW, have organised internal campaigns before. This is really one of the first battles where we've actually trained by sides. Are we going through sort of what I like to call a teething sort of period of the armies or the communities, where you're trying to learn about FC's play style and everybody else's play style and trying to work together better?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I mean, you guys, from the start, GC has just been on top of it. You guys play together well. You squad bomb, everything. You see one guy at a back flag, and all of a sudden there's 8. So it's just, I think, a little different style to play, maybe.
Okay, Viper, any comments on that one? Anybody else?
I mean, from FC standpoint, I can definitely feel McBain starting to like screw with me a lot. I don't know if that was, he learned some new tricks, but yeah, I can definitely feel it.
Okay. From the non-officer people in here, Deer Hunter and Lulu, how did you think about it, and what would you say your best map was, or round was? Or best moment at all?
Okay, well, I'll start. I think we had some although we the score may not have necessarily reflected it. I think to Chillam's point, and the thing that I enjoy most about playing at 21CW is the teamwork part. Like you said, when the 3-man javelin team works together, it just feels good and it feels right. When we click like that when we click like that as a team, it's truly enjoyable. What brings me back every week.
For me personally, it was just sort of a change of attitude, to be quite honest. Just in game, talking specifically in game. Just the general attitude of, let's say, the in-game chat. Everything was positive. Everybody was working together. You could basically see that the tankers weren't just acting like tankers when we were doing well. They were looking around, checking the mini-map, checking for the infantry. The infantry guys were reacting with the armour, and it was a really enjoyable battle day today.
There's one thing I'll get to Captain Jägermeister because later in a minute. There's one thing I always want to ask for 21CW, because we are two unique communities. I don't know any of the 21CW guys yet. I hope to soon. One thing I've noticed between the armor skill of both sides, do you think there's an imbalance, McBain, or any of the 21CW guys for the armor?
I don't know if it's an imbalance. I think it's more of a play style difference. Your armor tends to pair up more and stick together. Ours tends to not pair up. But like I said, it's more a matter of opinion of play style, I think.
If anyone does watch the cast, you'll notice how I always comment about gunners and that kind of stuff in tanks. Are you having to change your style at all against GC? You have to adapt, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, we like part of the problem with the armor I mentioned. I mean, not just the play style as far as tactics and how they want to attack a flag or whatever, but also we weren't supporting our armor. We weren't repairing them. I mean, we were relying on themselves to repair each other. We didn't really assign, as a VFCO, I didn't assign people to repair tanks or help the tanks flank or whatever. But that's one thing we're working on, and we're definitely trying to do better.
I think we're still working on developing ourselves as in the combined arms team. I think GC is got that down pretty good. I mean, they work together as well in pairs, and they're integrated much better with the infantry than we are at the moment. But I'm confident we're going to continue to work on that throughout the campaign.
And as they say, doing some points of the cast, I heard it say that it's become a lot more balanced compared to last week. I won't bring up last week because, for reasons. But but yeah, if we can continue this back and forth, I think we could be going to Christmas at this rate. So I haven't touched base yet with Captain Jägermeister here. He's the person in charge of GC's armor. It must be quite annoying getting all these laser locks and tones all the time in the armor. How do you feel that the GC armor did today? Because I definitely got some very good gameplay action from you, that's for sure.
I think we still did pretty good. Like sometimes it was really annoying because you just get hit by one javelin and another and another and another. But there were times when 20 USW guys were around me and I just thought like you would be much better off with just an RPG. I remember a guy was hiding behind me on a hill and he had a javelin out and he started locking me and I just shot him in the face. Like he could have gotten a mobility hit on me with an RPG.
Yeah, but as an infantry soldier, it's situational. You spawn in with the javelin, you get into a good position. Therefore, a tank is in front of you. What are you going to do? Are you going to just leave the tank alone because you haven't got an RPG at close range? Or are you going to try and react to that armor?
I think that's something we're still working on as an infantry unit, is our coordination with our armor. I think we did much better this weekend as a group, the infantry, and our aggressive squads were attacking back flags a lot more, and our more coordinated armor infantry squads really got close into the armor. But I think there were a couple of maps today where we really lost out possible win because we lost that coordination. I know from my point of view, occasionally we got sucked back into the infantry battle and forgot about the asset battle, which I think had been a priority of ours in Dragon, to engage the enemy armor whenever possible and try and give our armor some support. Yes, you're absolutely right. We need to learn to switch between Javelin, between RPG and the other AT and Stinger weapons a lot more, be a lot more aware of the situation around us. So yes, this is something we're working on as soldiers, as foot soldiers at the moment, but it's a great battlefield. It's been a smashing campaign so far. I have a great feeling about it. We've had a slow start, and let's be honest, GC flew out of the blocks. You guys were ready and willing to kill from the start. So I think we're just getting into our stride now, as you say, learning your patterns. You're learning our patterns. We're maybe coming up with some new stuff, and I'm sure so are you. And it's really hotting up. I'm enjoying it. I just hope we can maintain this level that we had this weekend. There were a few moments perhaps where we could have done a bit better, I think, but it's been great fun so far. Really good laugh, and I'm getting to enjoy knowing the GC guys on the battlefield, and hope we have a chance to socialize a bit more in TS like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. See, I think although this game's been out for a while, some of the play of the maps are set in stone. Do you still feel that there's time for innovation? For instance, so I say this Lankang Dam map, for instance. It seems to me that Charlie was just like a suckhole for infantry, if that makes sense. I feel that there was maybe too much coordination on certain flags? Some of the maps?
I think that's part of the game, isn't it? You choose where you're going to attack. You're right. These maps are relatively limited on a strategic level, but you can always try and switch it up. And for sure, Charlie on Langkang is a great flag to fight on if you own it, but if you're trying to take it, it can get very messy. So it's good fun. I had a great time on Langkang when I was there for a couple of attempts on that flag. But yes, it does get very complex on these flags, and that's what I was talking about. We maybe got sucked in a bit, and you know, were vulnerable at the back to your attacks, which is something that I personally, as a captain of my company, am going to work a lot harder on. But it was fun today, and we learned from our errors, I'm sure.
So with Graveyard Shift being a brand new map, do you feel like even though it's at night time, do you think like is it complete change compared to Savard, or do you think it's just similar? Did you have to approach it differently?
From the ground, there's not really a great deal of difference. The view distance is a bit lower. Apart from that, it's the same.
I think for both GC and 2022, I think it's the first time I ever played that map. For me, from the caster point of view, it seems to look like there seems to be a lot more influence on night vision.
Well, yeah, obviously, because in some areas, especially underground, when the lights are down, you really can't see anything. Like your screen is just black. And like Jay said, there's a lot less long-range combats. The draw distance is a lot less.
I feel that it's a lot more shorter engagements than you might typically see.
It's an infantry dream. Let's keep it.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, you'd be asking for is Operation Metro or
let's not
Metro
go
and Pitch
crazy.
Black.
oh, what Operation Lockers? What's the other one? Yeah, it is Lockers, isn't it? Other than that, I think sort of almost one is down. What do you think of the infantry play so far? It looks like GC. I mean, high-end result was. I'm not sure what happened to 21 CW there. It seems to be. Were you just fatigued, or was it just GC just came back and literally went no?
I think it was a little fatigue. Maybe some command issues going on. I don't know exactly. I didn't actually play that round. Well, I played. I got into the round about halfway through it. I think on the second one. From what I could tell, though, they were just overwhelming us. I think we had a couple of squad leaders change, some people changed positions, and they might not have been responding or acting, as well as we did in the first couple rounds, or first couple maps.
Because we don't have access. I don't have access as caster to the channel command, so I can't really see what's going on. So from the Spad Day, what do you think you need to work on so that we can bring it? Well, let's start with you, Miriam. What do you think your army needs to work on?
For me, well, definitely, like I said, communication was the first thing we wanted to work on. We're definitely got communication working a lot better. It's just coordination, the timing, our timing of our attacks, and just syncing, getting together, syncing up with everybody. The companies, attacking, because before we would have armor at a flag, and they're hollering for infantry support. Then we'd have infantry at a flag, and they're hollering for armor support. So it seemed like we could never get on the same page, get the same timing down to where we get armor and infantry at the same place at the same time. So coordination and timing is really what we're trying to work on. I think is what we need to.
I mean, there were times where you can tell that you've drawn. You feel that there were times when the casting, I saw that you've drawn the whole GC army away from one flag that you'd be able to push on another flag. Do you think you need to be a bit more reactive, a bit more quick off the mark?
Yeah, definitely. We're not as mobile as I'd like. We don't get around the map as fast as some of the GC. That's definitely you can tell. We have a harder time moving. I don't know why. I really think it's the armor and air. Your guys' armor and air is really well. They work together well. Your armor, I give kudos to your armor captain because, like I said, it's I hardly ever see one tank. And usually together, but they play aggressive, and that's good. and I think we just need to be more aggressive.
Same to you, Viper and Captain Gamer. What do you think you need to improve from GC, if anything at all?
I don't know. Like I said in the I think 7-9 pretty much showed our biggest problem. And it seems like once we lost a bit of the initiative, we had a lot of trouble getting it back to the point where we couldn't ever get it back. So, in general, officers do really well, but maybe sometimes they just get a bit stuck on goals and won't switch around without being prodded. So maybe just, be a bit more flexible and know when the battle is lost and not keep fighting for something that's lost.
So I think we're going to come to the end of this. I don't think there's anything more. I suppose questions really for the TAs, or the TA that is here. Do you think, or any of the generals, do you think we're going to be able to get this new, I think there's a new new map coming into play soon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, if there's another map that gets released, I'd say let's play it. As long as everybody can have can download it.
What is this? Is this I think it's in the battle log. I can't remember what it's called. It's
Outbreak.
yeah, Operation Outbreak, isn't it?
Looking forward to it. Yep, Roger.
Jungle map, yeah. Looking forward to it. If we can play it, that's one thing this game needs. It's more maps. I mean, there's a lot of maps, but we've played them all for the last 2 years, and we need more maps.
Do you know what this map reminds me of? I can't remember. I think it's Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Is there any tanks on it?
Yeah, there are tanks on it.
Yay.
The big one.
LAVs.
I think if I remember Battlefield Bad Company 2, it was like I think there's it's very like that with the huts, and it's like
Valparaiso?
yeah, a bit like
With
that.
the Blackhawks?
I think so, yeah. It's going to be quite interesting to see when that comes in. I believe it'll be like a free download, so we're going to see how. Well, at least we'll get some fresh blood into the game. I've been GC Barbudas. I think this is going to be the end of it, and I will hopefully do this, and we'll see you next week.